Dana Brown is the general manager of the Houston Astros. He had a media availability again yesterday, and this guy cannot stop selling hope. I mean, he's a snake oil salesman with this stuff. Very political in nature whenever a microphone is put in front of him. So, I mean, we all acknowledge it's going to be hard for the Astros to get back to where they need to go. They have a 19.9% chance to win the AL West as far as Fangraphs grades that, 34.1% chance to make the playoffs. And we're all wondering, okay, if things hit the fan, are the Astros going to be sellers? Dana Brown doubled down on statements he made about a month ago saying this, Joe, quote, I don't see any scenario where we're sellers. I think we're going to be buyers. Huh? I've seen teams blow leads from 5 games up to 7 games up in September. In Atlanta, when we won the World Series, we didn't get to 500 until game 100. I don't foresee us being sellers at all. We're going to grind it out. I think we're going to get back to 500 before people know it, and we'll be back in the race. I like the positive vibes, Joe, but he did say they were going to be buyers. And again, huh?
Yeah. You could go with the we're not gonna sell. I'm surprised when you just say that we're going to be buyers. Like, what are you buying?
And what are you buying with?
Probably Joey Loperfido.
Oh, don't say it. Don't say it.
I mean, what else? Like, other, like you cannot. Okay. The Astros, like, as much as I want them to turn this thing around and have a great season and find a way to make the ultimate comeback story and get back to the World Series and, take down the Phillies again or whatever it's going to be. The idea of this Astros team and this organization going in and being like, yeah, we're going to trade Bryce Matthews, like one of our top prospects, the guy who our first round pick since like 2019, and we're going to trade him at the deadline for an arm. Just seems like a bad idea to me. So you don't have a depth of talent in your farm system. You probably still have the worst farm system in baseball. I don't know what the latest rankings have been, but they're definitely at the bottom third, probably the bottom 5 at best. The idea that they're going to buy right now, you have to really convince me by your play on the field that that's a good idea. Like, you might turn your season around, but to then give up prospects, and I know they're lottery tickets, and I know that they don't always work out, but you can't do what you did last year. Last year, trading for Justin Verlander and giving up Drew Gilbert made logical sense. I understood that move. You got to Game 7 of the ALCS. Trading a top prospect, even though your farm system's not great, for a win now move, to me, seems irresponsible. So if you're buying, I'm assuming that's like trading Chaz for a bullpen arm. You're not really doing either. You're buying / selling in the moment. They don't even have the ammo for a big move, first of all. So it, to me, sounds like a lot of nonsense.
It is nonsense. Here's why. To what you said. First off, yeah, the farm system, it's just Joey Loperfido, as far as we know right now. Number 2, so they're already in the 1 to 2 range when it comes to passing the collective balance tax, which means that you got a hefty extra tax that you got to pay on your payroll if you go over a certain threshold. They're $4 million away from going over the second level of that, which only 2 teams are above. They have the 3rd highest payroll in all of baseball. So it's not just that you will have to use some of your farm system, which has no one from what we understand, to go and get somebody for the right here and now. You also have to spend more money. Is Jim Crane really going to go over that second level of the collective balance tax threshold? I don't buy that.
Well, that's where it's put your money where your mouth is. It's the window's always open. So that shouldn't matter then. Like, if the window's always open and Dana Brown's right and they get back to 500 and they're right there, just an awful start to the season. This is a great baseball team. Alex Bregman, MVP level candidate the rest of the year. We're heating up. We're on the way. Then put your money where your mouth is. Like, go get a player that's expensive. Go get a player that turns you into a real World Series contender. Go for it. How you get him, I don't know. How you get that player seems tough to me, but I just don't buy it.
Did you hear what Dana Brown is also looking to add as well? This is my favorite part. This is vintage Dana Brown, and I gotta say, Chandler Rome is very subtle with his shots fired in this piece in The Athletic. Quote, "If we can get more offense, that would be great, particularly a left-handed bat," said Brown, who sent Joey Loperfido's left-handed bat down to AAA to make room for Abreu on the active roster. Bravo. Bravo, Chandler. Continued, Dana, "That's one of the areas, if we could get another bat, that would be intriguing for me. You can never have enough pitching. I'm always in pursuit of pitching because you need pitching to win and you need pitching to go deep. But you have Jose Abreu and John Singleton on the roster right now, and they are literally preventing a left-handed bat that you trust from actually being on this team." That is 100% happening right now. I get it. Singleton's had some moments, but Loperfido, when he's been up here, especially considering he's got a little bit of super utility in him, at least based off of that Sugarland Space Cowboy highlight that got deleted by the Sugarland Space Cowboys very officially on a Friday. He can play first base based off of that. He can play outfield. We've already seen him make a couple of plays out there. It's strange that they're talking about acquiring a left-handed bat, which might take trading Joey Loperfido, who they literally already have.
They don't think he's good enough. Like maybe they don't buy into the 300 batting average that he had while he was up
Joe
here.
Espada thinks he's good enough.
Like I just
He even said so.
the idea that I hate when they say things like we need a left-handed bat. No, you need a better first baseman. You need to upgrade two positions, first base and left field. Those are your priorities if you're going to turn this team around from a lineup perspective, right? Like you're the hopes and dreams of Lance McCullers and Luis Garcia. They don't solve your problems with your rotation. Your rotation has serious issues if you want to be a World Series team. As good as Blanco and Arrighetti have been, okay? These guys do not have like lengthy innings pitched, high innings pitched in their career. Just like Hunter Brown last year, Arrighetti and Blanco are going to blow past their thresholds of what they've done in their career, and you're going to be hoping for two guys to come back. One guy hasn't pitched for this team in like 2 years, and then we haven't seen Garcia since last May. You have a lot of problems if you want to be a World Series team. You have a lot of you could trade for at the trade deadline.
Yeah.
Good luck. Like the Vlad Guerrero Jr. trade honestly probably makes the most sense. Trading for him, not a lefty, but first baseman only under contract for like 1 more year, not super duper expensive. The nice about the competitive balance tax, like the part that I guess I don't like, it's all nuanced and some of it's complicated, is when it all goes into effect versus the deadline. Because think about it, if you bring in a $13 million player, well, $30 million with Bregman's leaving the books most likely this offseason, so it'll balance out there from stopping you to go into the into the third threshold.
Yeah, you're not going past level 2, but you'll still be around level 1.
Yeah.
And look, I'm just telling you to get ready for this, because we've seen Dana Brown do this before. Just get ready for at the trade deadline. If Luis Garcia and Lance McCullers are back and the Astros don't do anything, Dana Brown will 100% do what he did last year, where he said that, well, we basically acquired Jose Altuve and Yordan Alvarez becoming healthy at the trade deadline.
And we acquired Joey Loperfido, a left-handed bat, when they finally cut Jose Abreu.
Well, I don't think that's happening, bud.
You don't think so?
No, I don't.
Oh,
I don't.
That makes me sad.
don't. I think if anything happens, they will say he's out for the year with an injury of some sort. Drexel Ridley comments, he seems to not be a fan. The Astros gave up 2 or 3 mid guys for Garrett Cole a few years ago, bro. That was Jeff Luhnow. Do you think anyone looks at the Astros front office right now and believes that they are operating from a position of strength? Do you sit down at a table across from, probably not Dana Brown, it's the thing that no one talks about, from whatever Jim Crane wants or whatever Jeff Bagwell wants? Do you sit across from that table and feel like you're losing that deal? You don't. With Luhnow, you felt probably pretty nervous. You're wondering to yourself, oh boy, if I make a trade here, I might be giving up something for nothing, and I might get completely bamboozled here. With James Click, you're maybe not feeling quite that intimidated by it. But now, I mean, if you're looking at the Astros and what they do not have, are you being honest with yourself and believing that they're going to be able to do what they did with the Garrett Cole trade, the Justin Verlander trade, some of the other trades that they made back during the early Jeff Luhnow era? I do not believe that.
And this is where, because Derek, I understand your point, okay? Or Drexel. I understand it. This is where I think there's a difference. When you call the Houston Astros organization, or when Dana Brown calls you and says, we want to make a trade, you're going to ask for the top prospect. The problem is that if Dana Brown says no, the next group of prospects isn't good. Colin Moran, Musgrove, that's a good, that's a fine trade for the Pirates. It worked out okay for them. Musgrove was very good. Moran was fine as well. But as this article points out, think about this. When you traded for Garrett Cole, Jeff Luhnow was telling the Pittsburgh Pirates that prospects Forrest Whitley, Kyle Tucker, Derek Fisher, and Yordan Alvarez were off the table. So you have to start going through your laundry, your checklist. And those guys you cross off, so you go to the next group of players. The problem is that after Bryce Matthews and Loper Fito and Eric Getty, what's your list? Pedro Leon? Mm-hmm. He's got a lot of home runs this year. Mm-hmm. You don't have that second wave of talent to where you're not going to be in the trades to make these moves. Yes, they've made these trades before. You don't have the farm system to make them anymore.
No, that's the problem. It's interesting, the text line. You can't win with them. From the 713, the Astros were 6.5 games back from the division and still won the division. Y'all are nothing but bad vibes, man. Okay, well, I guess the first segment didn't happen. This person also says that the 2021 Astros made it to the World Series without Verlander. I'm not really sure how this relates to the Houston Astros that are currently held back by Jose Abreu and the amount that he plays. Also from the 281, when did the show turn into the Bitchy Bees? And that is...
that means we got to go to break.
That's a bad vibes button if I ever heard one.
I mean, sorry, guys.
Bad vibes alert, man.
Do we like the Bitchy Bees as a name better than the Angry Bees?
The Angry Bees, I feel like Joel's not going to get mad at me when we leave the studio.
Yeah, the texter said this.
Right.
Careful of calling people the B word. If there's anything I've learned in the last 24 hours.
Yeah, Pat McAfee, canceled.
I learned that you can't call people the B word on TV.
That's true.
But on the radio, you can. They just can't be a woman.
Yeah.
Right?
Because Pat did double down on this.
On WWE.
On WWE.
But he apologized on his radio show.
Yeah.
Which is very confusing for everyone involved.
And the person on WWE was also he's 6'8" and he's 400 pounds. So, it doesn't work the same, I would say.